Black women out here living our best life, and we gonna talk about it on the Cute Shoes channel. What's up, y'all? You just tuned in to the Cute Shoes channel, your virtual hangout spot on the chill side of the internet. Your host is Dr. Akua Rose Feathers, and she is going to guide you through the legacy making, brilliance, vulnerability, and awesomeness of Black women. Oh, this is not just a web channel. This is a spotlight, a stage and sanctuary for the rich mosaic of experiences, dreams, and triumphs of Black women. So, kick off your shoes, grab your favorite drink, and chill with us as we dive into some real talk. In this week's episode, hang out with me while I come straight from my soul. Hey, Dr. Akua here. Okay, first of all, let's just say it. I know it, you know it. Our camera is not cameraing the way that it usually does. Here we go. Rookie mistake. I did not turn off my phone, so let me get that done. Take two? Take two. So, yeah, I am at a remote location. I am on a wellness retreat, and I did not want to pack all my cameras and all of that stuff. And, I thought it's enough that I was bringing my computer, and I am on literally just got here. So, technically it's day one, but I decided I would record this episode. We would take a break from our normally scheduled programming, and I would take a break and chat with you myself. And yes, next week you will go back to hearing from another amazing Black woman who is amazing, not because of what she does, but she's amazing because of who she is and how she shows up in the world. And so you will definitely get to hear more Black women. Um, but I'm a Black woman too. And I just wanted to share a little bit about me and really thank you for those who have subscribed. Make sure you subscribe, subscribe, and share and comment. I want to know what questions you have for some of our guests. I want to know if there's guests that you would love to, recommend to be on the show. I just want to hear from you. What do you think about what they said? So far, they've been dropping some nuggets and some bombs, and I can tell you, as somebody who's been in the conversations, there's more nuggets to come. There's more bombs to come. So you're going to enjoy the rest of this season as much as I have. I just know it. And so, what I'm excited about is just the opportunity to be in this space. One of the things that I do not take for granted is the opportunity as a Black woman to tell my own story, the opportunity as a Black woman to live my story, but to also tell it and speak it according to how I desire for it to be told. See, for me, that was not something that was always the case. I grew up with my family always saying very positive things about me, telling me all of these great things, giving me accolades because of, my grades that I received. I always had really good grades. Because of different acknowledgments that I received. I was featured in various newspapers, on various news shows, like on the news itself. And, did a lot of really cool stuff when I was young. And so my family always had really positive things to say about me. And when I was in school, my peer group, they didn't have too many positive things to say about me because I didn't necessarily wear the fanciest of clothes. I have had and still do have big feet. Okay, it's just a thing. It is what it is. I'm grown now, so, worked through all of that. But back then, okay, these was in the 19s, y'all. Back then, the shoes that they didn't have big feet shoes for me as a child nor as a teen. And so I had to buy my shoes from the adult section, and the shoes in the adult section were also not cute. So imagine me, big feet Bertha, walking around with grown-up people's shoes, big feet, ugly shoes. So yeah, I got talked about. I got talked about a lot. And my hair was not always banging. And so, sometimes I would just brush it all back, but I would forget about that little kitchen area. You know about the kitchen area. Okay. If you don't, go ahead and Google it. I promise you it'll be there. But I wouldn't pay attention to the kitchen area. And so some of my, classmates made fun of me gave me a nickname about my kitchen area. And so I had these two narratives existing in my life. Had this positive stuff from my family telling me all these great, amazing things about who I am and who I was. And then I had all these negative things from my peers telling me that because I didn't have certain things and because I didn't show up in certain ways, that I wasn't, there are all of these things that I wasn't. And I had both of these narratives going, and I did not know that I had the opportunity, the power, the ability to tell my own story. I didn't know that I had the ability to hear myself tell me who I think I am. I didn't know that that was something that I could do. And so I never did. I never did. I didn't, I wasn't the kind of kid who was like, oh, when I grow up, I want to do this and I want to do that. I didn't have like those kinds of dreams or those kinds of thoughts rather. I had goals like, oh, when I grow up, I want to be, but I didn't have things where my voice was telling me who I am. And so I grew up doing a lot of what other people wanted me to do. I grew up being a lot of what other people expected me to be, or at least what I thought they expected for me to be. And I concealed a lot of who I really was. And really, I concealed it. I got to kind of be a little gracious to myself because did I conceal it or did I not know? You know, things we continue to learn. But the bottom line is I was not living my own life. That's like that's the bottom line of it all, period. And so because I wasn't, everything I did was guided and governed by something that I thought somebody else wanted. That was exhausting. That was exhausting. That was tiring. That was frustrating. And it was also very painful because I did a lot of things that aligned with what I thought people expected from me. I got married. I joined church. Um, I got married, I joined church, and I even got those good jobs, the ones with the benefits. Yeah, I got those good jobs. And um, I never really considered, is this what I want? Do I want to be married? Do I want to be married to this person? Is this the kind of marriage that I want? Never considered it, never thought of it. I just knew that it was something that was expected from someone outside of myself. And by someone, I mean many people. Societally, it was a norm in the religious communities that I was a part of. It was accepted and acceptable. Never considered if it was something that I wanted. Being a part of churches. Those were things that, again, it was accepted and it was acceptable. I didn't grow up in the church, but I did get taken to church. My grandparents would take us to their respective churches. And, you get these messages that being churched is the right thing. And so I never asked myself, do I want to be a part of a church? Is that something that I want in my life? Do I even roll with the stuff that they're saying? Like, definitely, you know, no, I 100% believe in God. There is absolutely somebody up there who is governing all of this, creating all this, making all this, guiding all this. That I believe. Do I believe what they talking about in this building? Do I believe that this God wants us to do the things that they're saying that they want that we're supposed to do in these buildings? I never got a chance to really ask myself that. I just went along with the flow. You know how they say go along to get along? That was my life for a number of decades, y'all, on some real stuff. And same thing with the jobs. Never really like none of the job, all of the jobs I had were jobs that aligned with my skill set. I could do the work, like I could do the heck out of that work, but I never really thought like, do I want to be here? Why do I want this? And I can remember sitting in meetings with colleagues, and they would be talking about how much they enjoyed the company and how attached to the mission and values they were. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, they're going to come around to me in any moment, and I don't know what to say because I don't even know what the mission and the values of this company are. I'm telling y'all the truth. I was like, this is not cool. And so I had invested so much of myself in this life that I thought was accepted and acceptable, that I thought people wanted and expected from me. And lo and behold, the marriage abruptly ended. Abruptly ended. Um, The church that I, thought I would be going to for community and for guidance and hope and support, I was repeatedly, and I was not a member of just one church. I repeatedly, each church that I became a member of, there was this pattern that would happen over and over again. There was this period of like honeymoon period where it's, oh my gosh, yes, we just love God and we just love to do the work. And then all of a sudden, all the cattiness and all of the backbiting and all of the surprising truths um, were revealed over time. And, you know, um, and then the jobs, like I said, I did my jobs and I did them well, but I was always and only overworked, underpaid, and just completely and totally disrespected. Being in a space as a Black woman, I don't think anybody's surprised to hear any of that. So in 2016, I reached a point where I was like, enough is enough. Because I had gone through so much pain. I had gone through so much struggle. I had gone through so much hurt because I'm in these different spaces doing all the things that everybody says I'm supposed to do, everybody, that people say I'm supposed to do, things that are societally accepted, things that are culturally acceptable. And I was miserable. I was ticking all the boxes. If you were to grade me based on what you saw, I would get a straight A's. And if it's anything over an A, I would have got those because I was doing exactly what they told me. They told me I was supposed to do what I thought they expected of me. I was doing every last one of those things. And lo and behold, each and every one of those things that I did without considering, without any intentionality, they all crashed, cracked, crumbled, kaboom. And everything was just, my world was just it was topsy-turvy, it was spinning, it was upside down. I was just deeply gutted. And in 2016, I had my very last instance of being harmed and hurt in a church space. And I said, no más, no more. It shall not happen again. And I didn't just declare that I would leave the church. My declaration was that I would leave allowing other people's expectations, whether they were assumed, presumed, or spoken. I would stop allowing other people to dictate my life. I would stop allowing what other people wanted and expected to be what governed my life. I decided that I was going to start searching inside of myself to figure out and to listen and to hear and to sense what it is that I wanted to do, who it was that I wanted to be, and how it was that I wanted to take up space in the world. And that is what I mean when I talk about these Black women who are on this podcast, on this web series. These are women who are showing up in these spaces in a mighty way. These women are taking up space the way that they see fit. They are taking up space in a way that makes their power and their personality shine. They are showing themselves in all of their authenticity. That is one of the reasons why that story is why I'm such a big fan and proponent of authenticity and intentionality. Authenticity is such this, I did a whole live about it before, but it's just this like elusive concept that people talk about and they just throw the word around, but they're not really telling you what it is. We talk about authenticity, let's talk about self-being. It's a Greek word that means self-being. And you can't be yourself if you don't know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, you can't take up space in the world the way you were meant to take up space in the world. And if you were meant to take up space in the world in a particular way, you are not going to have that inner peace until you do. Think about a baby who's hungry. That baby gonna cry until someone feeds them. That yearning, that desire needs to be addressed. In the same way, that gnawing on the inside, it comes from a place of something being missing. I told y'all I was on a retreat, so I'm sitting at a desk that ain't mine. And this bad boy is not ergo or nomic. Okay. Um, but yes, that space, that ability to stand in the world the way you see fit is a powerful thing. And for Black women to be able to do that, we're talking about women who are from a long line of folks for whom it was the norm for them to be told what they could and could not do, when they could get up, when they could go to sleep, when they could start work, when they could stop work, how much work they had to do, what the amount of work was that they had to do. They were told when they could speak, when they couldn't speak, and somebody else fully dictated their entire being. And now on this web series, you're going to see a whole bunch of Black women who are not, who are far from that. They are not living in that way at all. As a matter of fact, we are telling our own story. And we tell our story not just through web series like these, we tell our stories through the way we live our lives. We tell our stories the way we stand and take up space in this world. And that is why this web series exists, because it is a platform and a place for Black women to speak their lives. And they tell it to you in the truth and the authenticity that represents them, that resonates for them. And they all talk about how they intentionally set forth to do the things that they're describing that they've done and are doing. So I'm really grateful for those of you who are watching and watching this thing grow. Cute Shoes channel, this is my baby. And I'm just really grateful for those of you who are watching my baby. Y'all watching my baby, and I'm grateful for it. And I want it to become as special to you as it is to me, because we get to see together not only how this series develops, but we get to watch so many amazing, awesome women speak their lives right here on the worldwide interwebs, over here on Lizzo's internet. You know what I'm talking about. So y'all keep watching. Y'all keep tuning in. I'm telling you, the lineup of women who are going to continue speaking on this series, yeah, they living their best life. And we gonna talk about it right here on the Cute Shoes channel.